So, childhood trauma, another part. So, picking back up where I left off, I went off on my mom because she was talking about it not holding up in court that I let my child cry for fucking 30 seconds so that I could just rub the moisturizer in, calm myself down, and go back in that room and in a more calm, collected state than the stressed state that I was because, mind you, we were all sleeping in her freaking room. And the house was overcrowded with fucking people. There was more people in there than should legally be allowed. Plus two animals. And nobody was respecting the fact that my child needed to take naps at all. And then it was just like, oh, well, you can't control other people's spaces and all of that. Oh, she'll just sleep when she feels like sleeping. No, that's not what the fucking pediatrician said. They need a calm, quiet environment for them to sleep. And they kept having people go in and out of there with no boundaries, no nothing. I was completely disregarded along with my kids. And then on top of that, while we were living there, like I was, I used to be a popper, like where I'd like pop my kids, but I decided I didn't want to keep doing that because it just didn't feel right to me. And because like I had tried to be a gentle parent earlier, but like when moving in with my family, like it was really, really fucking difficult. And I reverted back to what I was fucking taught. And yes, I'm fucking ashamed of it. And no, I shouldn't have done it. But pressure. You can say it's excuses, but I absolutely fucking hated that I did that. And so, yeah. So now, she's popping my kids. And I was like, I couldn't even tell her not to, even though she gets into altercations with my sister over doing the same to her kid. But I couldn't even tell her not to. I had no fucking voice to even defend my fucking kids against my own mother. I wasn't hitting them, but she was, and I couldn't even tell her not to. All I could do is scream like, I'm so fucking tired of this shit. Because like I'm not even hitting my own kids anymore. Like what the fuck? And not even directly at her. Why? Why was that something that I couldn't even do for them? That didn't make any fucking sense to me. And I fought it with every ounce of my fucking might. I really fucking did. And I'm so happy that we managed to get out of here because when, I called her out for being jealous, she really scrambled to get us out here. And because, she made it happen that I got here, I owe her forever. Just for being born, but God forbid, she actually helped me get out here. Mind you, keeping up with everything fell on me because she stopped answering my fucking calls after a certain while. Now, I'm going to go backtrack and talk about how when we had that moment, or what I thought was a moment, where I thought we understood each other about, the past and all of that shit, and I thought we could actually start communicating and moving forward. Um, she I coddled her and made her think that I wasn't running away from her when I ran away. Because, yes, I was running away from her, and I was running away. The first time I actually tried to run away was when I was 8. I snuck downstairs and left a note and opened the front door. Everybody was asleep, by the way. 2 adults in the house. Nobody even knew that the 8-year-old was standing with the door open. I closed the door back because I was afraid that the note would be found by the abuser. The next time that I tried to run away was after my school closed and my mom started harassing me. She was harassing me even during school about, money and all of that other shit and stressing me out about cleaning. I'm like, I'm working and going to school. Get one of your other kids to do it. And so yeah, when all of that fell out, because I quit work so that I could focus on school because I was really close to graduating anyway, so it was going to be a difference. That's when the fucking school closed and I didn't end up getting my fucking degree. And so then I had already met somebody through another friend because we were like mute. He was my friend's friend, and like we connected online, and I had been his friend for years, and I ended up connecting with him. I went to go visit him at one point, and then I ended up having him come down and like come get me from my mom's house and move me up to where he was states away. because, like, you know, it was a long distance relationship or whatever. He came and got me, and then I went to live with him, and it was to get away from her because she was harassing the shit out of me and I couldn't take it anymore. So yeah, I used him to get out of that house, and I figured, you know, I like the area anyway, so even if it doesn't work out, then I'll be fine. No, because then when I decided that I didn't want to be in that relationship anymore, I had a hard time getting him to let me go. So yeah, I just wanted to end things at one point because it was toxic for me. Like, he wasn't working, I was working. I couldn't breathe anymore, and I wasn't the same person that I was when we had met. And I couldn't carry that weight anymore because I was doing the work of both of us. I didn't like who I was in the mirror, and I realized that it was because I was in a relationship that was not serving me and it was just costing me. And so I ended up deciding that I didn't want to be a part of it anymore. And yeah, then she had to come get me because things escalated. He ended up kicking something and I couldn't take it anymore. She had to come get me. And, you know, they get off on this, by the way, coming to rescue me from these fucking situations. So she came to rescue me, which is exactly what happened with her when she was pregnant with me and my father, because my father almost her. And so my grandmother went and picked her up. So she was doing the same for me. The difference is this time I didn't have fucking kids. And so, and the funny thing is like when I asked her if she liked him, she said yes. And then she tried to encourage me to have kids with him. Luckily, he didn't want kids. But then I started to like wonder if I actually wanted kids. So then I was like, would you ever change your mind? And he wouldn't give me a direct answer, which was triggering me. And so I kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And I tried to come up with different ways to just force him to say, like, no. Because I can't, the way that I grew up, I can't take it unless you tell me. If you don't tell me directly, I don't understand the circulation of bullshit. Because I've been led to believe that I can't trust my feelings or the actions of other people, because whatever they're doing at this moment doesn't mean anything. It's only if they say it. So, you know, they can slap you across the face, but if they don't tell you that, you know, they hate you, then it doesn't count. And that's how I grew up. So I was really trying to force them to do that. But I didn't realize that I wasn't really, that was a projection. She basically, without actually saying I give you permission to have kids, said some roundabout things saying that basically, you know, it's okay if you have kids. And then when she rescued me from that situation, she's like, oh yeah, I never liked him. And mind you, we had to return to that space so that I could get the rest of my stuff. And I left behind a lot of stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, well, people were like, make sure she doesn't steal anything. Because mind you, he was palm colored. And yeah, because of that, I was just another N-word to the rest of his fucking family. So yeah. And then, you know, everything seemed fine. Like, you know, okay, yeah, you're back home. You're safe now. You don't have to worry about it. And then she started trying to like distract me from trying to be more independent, trying to get a job and stuff. And I was going against her by going and trying to have these interviews and applying for all of these jobs. I applied for like hundreds of jobs in the span of just like a week. I was not off of that job website at all. I was on it all the damn time because I needed to get a job before my phone got turned off. And that's why there's a lot of shame surrounding these stories where I ran off with a boy. But she started harassing me again about, you know, basically being a useless moocher, and I needed to do something with my life and all of that fucking shit. So then I ran off again with another boy because my phone got turned off because I couldn't afford it anymore, and I had already spent all of my money renovating the room. And yeah, I ended up moving in with another person I'd been talking to that I actually got into a relationship with right after the last one. But I'll do that in the next one.